yeah, without it, I wouldn't have been in the game. I wouldn't have learned so much. In 2005, when I was 20 something, bought a house pre-2008 crash, right? And I bought it for 100% financing. Like, and you know, they got creative on me. I had no idea. Like, they just told me, hey, we'll finance it this way. I'm like, cool. I guess price is going to go up, right? And I'll end up selling it for more. So I ended up buying it. It was in upstate New York, $142,000 I paid for it in 2005. I moved a few years later to Boston, as we talked about, and I couldn't sell it because it was 2008 when I moved to Boston. So the market kind of flattened out. Not that this was a huge boom or bust market, but it busted and I couldn't sell it. So flash forward to about a month ago, so 14 years later, I ended up selling that property for $99,000. So I bought it at 142 in 2005, sold it for $99,000 last year. My debt was less than that, so it's not like I took, actually, I got a $3,000 check at the end, and I had a big write-off, about $50,000 from passive losses that I'm writing off this year. So like I said, with real estate, even when you lose, you win. But by far, that was I mean, it was the middle of nowhere. I had no family there. It was just, I don't know, we just limped along for 13, 14 years. Have to drive 6 hours from Boston out there if there was a tenant turn to clean it up and get it ready for the next person. So, you know, bad deal. But
it's interesting because a lot of the, it's almost like hindsight 2020, Jamie, because a lot of the losses that I hear sometimes, you know, and I think lessons is probably a better, you know, I guess way to put it. Yeah. It sounds like it, for most of the people that have on the show, it's a learning point and a momentum booster. Like in the sense of, there's some folks who don't make any mistakes. And I always say, the most people who, like Michael Jordan, like you said, he's missed more shots than us, right? Because we haven't taken them. So I really like that. Because Jamie, even if it was your biggest lesson, biggest mistake you've ever made, it was kind of a, you know, kind of a driving point. I mean, did I get that right?
1,000%, dude. No, you are so spot on. Like what kills me sometimes listening to folks who haven't done a deal yet is they all do what I did, and you did, I'm sure, at some point. You get on, you listen to Bigger Pockets for, like, you hear the first podcast and it's so fascinating. Then you want to listen to all of them. So you just, like, you're in the car listening to 146 Bigger Pockets podcasts or whatever, you know, and you're hearing all these lessons and it's like, okay, don't do this, don't do that. All right, do this. This is what the mistake they made or whatever. And people get themselves to this place of fear for doing a deal. But the commonality between every one of those people espousing the mistakes that they made, they did a deal. They made the mistake, right? Like I learned so much about management, about whether or not to trust tenants, you know, and not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the tenant who says, hey, let me double up next month. I had an expense come up. And at first you're like, yeah, it makes sense. No problem.
Let that go. You're in for a ride.
And then you got to learn to cut that, right? But I learned all those lessons that cut my teeth on a single family home. And you know what? Years later, buying a property, buying a couple of duplexes, I'm cool. When I went for this multifamily, like, I could write down I have experience for the lender. The lender saw that as having experience. So without that property, a lot doesn't happen. So to your point, it's a bad deal, but the greatest thing I've ever done, I lost nothing, right? I got a great education. I shouldn't say I lost nothing. I guess technically I lost whatever. I got a great education, and yeah, without it, I wouldn't have been in the game. I wouldn't have learned so much. So I've said that, like, I'm not saying just buy something to people, but if you haven't done a deal yet, like, put the numbers down. Does it make some sense? And if it makes some sense, buy the damn thing. And you know, I don't know, if you're somebody who, when things go south, and they will, when you own a deal, they will go south at certain points. People are going to leave, an AC is going to go, whatever. But you're somebody who's action focused and can manage through it. This stuff forgives you, in my opinion. Real estate,
it's commitment, right? It's if you're in it for the long run, you're gonna go through the ups and downs just like the market. But if you're in it for the long run and you're not looking for a quick win, quick cat, you're gonna eventually, I think, if you're doing it the right way as the student that you are and practitioner, I think you'll come out on top. So good for you.